What's up, everyone? Today is October 19th of 2023, and in today's video, I'll be talking about Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan and his failing bid to become the new Speaker of the House of Representatives. On this channel, I talk about how our mainstream news, particularly stories from the federal government, appear to be scripted out long ahead of time, using an occulted code of astrology, mythology, and what I mostly focus on, numerology, with a heavy emphasis on Gematria, or the numbers underneath our alphabet. Just take a look at this page from Fox News the other day and ask yourself, what are the odds? On Monday, at the same time Jim Jordan lost his first vote, the nation of Jordan canceled its meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden. Now, while this could be a mere coincidence, also notice how the name Yoron, just one letter off of Jordan, is mentioned, since he has just confessed to the 2005 murder of Natalie Holloway. Remarkably, Congressman Jim Jordan was born on the first birthday of NBA star Michael Jordan. Arguably, the best basketball player since MJ was Kobe Bryant. Back in late August, I made this video on the synchronicity connecting a school bus crash in Ohio on Kobe Bryant's birthday to the deaths of Kobe Bryant and Natalie Holloway. Now, on the surface, making these connections won't make much sense to the average consumer of mainstream news, but when you have a solid understanding of what's really happening, it truly becomes undeniable. So how do this week's events in Congress connect to this bus crash from August? In my video, which you can find linked below in the description, I talked about how the crash was synced up to the murder of a man about 50 miles north of the scene last December. That man's name was Kobe Bryant. Kobe Elliott Bryant was shot dead in the city of Lima, Ohio. Lima happens to sit within the boundaries of Ohio's 4th Congressional District, which is the same district that Jim Jordan has represented since the year 2007. The city of Lima also shares spelling with Lima, Peru, the same city that Joran Vandersloot, who has now confessed to the Natalie Holloway murder. Vandersloot had been extradited from Lima, Peru earlier this year, as he had committed a different murder of a woman named Stephanie Ramirez in that city. So there's enough strange coincidences here, but when you look at the numerology of these characters and the dates on which this all occurred, you begin to see there is something truly phenomenal about how things like this all come together. So let's talk about the numerology here. Now, again, we focus on Gematria, the very simple practice of observing the numerical value of letters in the alphabet. And we start with the most basic, simple cipher to understand, where each letter is numbered 1 through 26 relative to its position in the alphabet. This cipher can be reduced into what's also called Pythagorean Gematria, which has every letter as a single digit. These methods are also reversed, but we also talk about these extended methods, which provide much, much larger numbers than the rest. And we have a strong emphasis on Latin Gematria, as well as English Standard. But really, Latin is what I consider to be the most significant cipher in this study. Now again, Jim Jordan just happens to be born on the first birthday of Michael Jordan. Now these two dates, of course, are 365 days apart. How perfect for a member of Congress. Congress has Latin Gematria of 365. Jim Jordan only got 200 votes in his second attempt yesterday, falling 18 short of what he needed, which was 218 votes. That's what's required in the House to win the role of Speaker. The majority, 218. Using capital letters, a cipher still based in the alphabetic order, but with capital letters mixed in with the small letters, notice how James Jordan has Gematria of 218. And we're going to be talking about how this all connects to the numerology of the moon In ancient Hebrew gematria, the word for moon equals 218. In English gematria, the word death equals 218. And this provides a clear connection to the death of Kobe Bryant from the year 2020. The 218th prime number is 1361. This number only divisible by 1 and itself. The 218th prime number, connecting to moon, death, Jim Jordan, the number of votes he needed. Well, yesterday's vote was 1,361 days after the death of Kobe Bryant on January 26th of 2020. Furthermore, when Jim Jordan first became a congressman back on January 3rd of 2007, Kobe Bryant was 10,361 days old on that date. So a double connection to the 218th prime number. Now, why is Kobe getting such a strong tribute? Well, consider that next week, the 78th season of NBA basketball tips off. 78 was the year that Kobe Bryant was born. But once again, the bus crash that happened on Kobe Bryant's birthday earlier this year occurred 50 miles south of Lima, Ohio, which is, again, where a man named Kobe Bryant was murdered last December. Now, again, in that video, you see that Natalie Holloway is listed as her age completely connected to this date as well, all through the number 666. And here we are. What are the odds that Joran Vandersloot confessed to the murder of Natalie Holloway on the same day that Jim Jordan lost his second vote? Now, the video I made in August also explains the deep, deep Mercurial riddle in the death of Kobe Bryant. And in mythology, the Roman god of Mercury is perhaps the most significant of all. And there's a lot of things that Mercury is responsible for. Two that are very connected to this story is messages and communication. Jim Jordan was attempting to become the Speaker of the House. Speaker, connecting to messaging, communication. This is a mercurial role. The Roman god of Mercury is venerated each year on the date May 15th. Internationally, this date is written 15/5. Jim Jordan's full name, James Daniel Jordan, using the standard alphabetic order, gives us a gematria value of 155. But also consider his initials, Jim Jordan, JJ. In one of the mathematical ciphers of gematria, this trigonal method, which uses triangular numbers to assign a value for each letter, notice how Mercury sums to 1010. And again, Jim Jordan, JJ, 1010. Using capital letters with caps added, the name Jordan sums to 88. And this also stood out because he leads Ohio's 4th district. And notice how 4th also sums to 88 in ordinal. Well, Jim Jordan's birthday, February 17th, falls 88 days before Mercurialia, this special May 15th date that he has gematria connecting to. Now, 88 is a significant number to Mercury because it takes Mercury just a few minutes shy of 88 days to orbit the sun. Each planet that we can see with the naked eye also has its own special magic square, and Mercury's magic square happens to be a grid of 8 by 8. This means Mercury's magic square is made up of 64 total squares. Jim Jordan was born in the year 64. Now, when you write out magic square of Mercury in gematria, you get the same values as Kobe Bean Bryant and Kobe Bryant. The god of Mercury is also the god of travelers. And remember, Kobe Bryant was traveling in a helicopter when he died. On the date of that crash, Kobe Bryant was exactly 172 mercurial orbits old. Notice how the name Natalie Ann Holloway has Latin gematria of 1702. 1702 is just like the birthday of Jim Jordan, the 17th of the second month, 1702, just like Michael Jordan. The word retirement has the same digits, 127. Kobe Bryant died exactly 217 weeks after announcing his retirement. Again, 217, just like this birthday. But also, Mercury Magic Square in the alphabetic order also has this 217. If we instead write out magic square of Mercury, as we did earlier, instead notice this value of 238. Well, this stands out immediately because Kobe Bryant was born on the 23rd of August, or 23/8. This number brings us to the moon, another strong astrological connection. The moon, a topic of pretty much every other video I make. The moon is an average of 238,000 miles from Earth. And in Latin gematria, when you write out the number 666 as it's spelled, you get this value of 2038. And remember, 666 was on the thumbnail of my video on Kobe Bryant in August. When you measure from the birthday of Michael Jordan to the birthday of Kobe Bryant, notice how you get 5,666 days. On top of that, their birthdays are also 6 months and 6 days apart. Kobe Bryant scored 81 points, the second highest total ever, in his 666th career game. There's so much 666 connected to Kobe. I couldn't even cover it all. But consider how the 666th prime is 4973. And when you run Kobe Bryant's age on the date he died, he was 497 months and 3 days old. Again, search my channel if you want more on Kobe Bryant and 666. But let's talk about how Kobe syncs up to yesterday's date with this whole Jim Jordan story. Yesterday was 8 months and 23 days after the anniversary of Kobe's death, which is just like his birthday, 8/23. Yesterday was also 56 days after Kobe Bryant's birthday, August 23rd. The number 56, certainly significant to this, as Jim Jordan is trying to become the 56th Speaker of the House. Currently, it's, what's this guy's name? Can't even remember. But I talked about it in my video. So he was the 55th Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, and now we're trying to get a 56th Speaker. Notice how my video on Kevin McCarthy shows the planet Saturn. And in the ancient Hebrew language, the word for Saturn has ordinal gematria of 56. So a strong theme there as well. Kobe Bryant was even born on a date with a life lesson number of 56. But let's take a look at Kobe Bryant's full name gematria. Kobe Bean Bryant. His middle name, Bean, comes from his father's nickname, Jelly Bean. The name Kobe Bean Bryant has a reverse value of 243. The first and second votes for Jim Jordan fell 243 days after February 17th, which is the birthday of both Jordan characters. Using Latin gematria, Kobe Bean Bryant, his name sums to 738. On the date of the second vote, Jim Jordan was exactly 738 lunar phases old. A lunar phase is about 29 and a half days, measures the time from new moon to new moon. There's also something called a sidereal month, which measures the time it takes the moon to orbit the Earth in relation to the stars. On the same date, Michael Jordan was 811 sidereal months old. And this is a lot like the date, October 18th. 1018, 811, it's the same digits, but backwards. But these digits, 1 and 8, also connect Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant, who was born 188 days after Jordan's birthday. In the alphabetic order, Michael Jeffrey Jordan sums to 188. In English Standard Gematria, Kobe Bean Bryant sums to 1188. And in Sumerian Gematria, which is the alphabetic order times 6, the name Natalie Ann Holloway also sums to 1188. All in the news on the same day. 118, also a familiar number of death and homicide. Especially relevant since we kicked this video off talking about 218, which is death in English. So to wrap this up, I just want to look at a few more alignments that really string everything together here. When Kobe Bryant died in 2020, it was 22 days before the birthdays of Michael Jordan and Jim Jordan. And again, he died in 2020, a lot like 22. United States Speaker of the House of Representatives equals 202 in reduction. Also in reduction, basketball equals 22. And check out how old Michael Jordan is. 22,158 days old. Well, the 158 connects to the Latin gematria of James Daniel Jordan. 158 in the Latin method. This is also a number of Freemasonry, 158. And certainly most Congress members, sworn Freemasons. We know that every president in history has been one. Notice how James Jordan, his full name has matching 106 gematria with Bryant. And yesterday was a span of 10 months and 6 days before Bryant's birthday. But what I also thought was interesting is that the word Congress has the same 100 gematria as Jordan. 100. And yesterday was 100 days before the anniversary of Kobe's death. The name Jordan also equals 123 with capital letters, and yesterday was 123 days with the end date included before the two Jordans' birthday. If you measure from the date that Jim Jordan took office to yesterday's vote, notice how it was 288 days after the anniversary of him taking office. Also, measuring from the date that Kobe Bryant announced his retirement in 2015, you get 2,880 days. So a couple of 288s. In Gematria, Natalie Ann Holloway equals 288. Natalie Holloway, also 288 with capital letters. And when you look at the age of convicted killer Joran Vandersloot for the date of this news, notice how he was a span of exactly 1,889 weeks old, measuring from that special August 6th birthday. This guy, by the way, was born on the 218th day of the year, which was a strong number of focus earlier. Also interesting, we have the 223, big number of discussion this year in 2023, but this is 1,889 weeks exactly. And here we have another prime number, the 290th prime. Well, that's interesting because Vandersloot was born a span of 290 days after Natalie Holloway, whom he murdered. And now we see that Bryant equals 290 and Michael Jordan 290 as well. So once again, it seems like more scripted theater coming out of our U.S. Capitol, all by the numbers of the moon, Mercury, in connection with popular American sports. Just as scripted as everything else, it seems. All right, everyone, that'll do it for this video. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, etc. Also, check the links down in the description if you'd like to help support the work and the website that makes this all possible. Peace, love, God bless. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.